Alright, you guys, welcome back to some more Hapymaher. This is right after Maya technically disappears, and we say goodbye to her. And now, instead of Yayoi, this is going to be Hirasaka comforting us. Next to me, kneeling on the floor with her torso sprawled on the bed, was Hirasaka. She raised her head. I tried to ask why, but all that came out of my mouth were sobs. Hirasaka took my hand awkwardly. That was my nightmare. There was nothing strange about someone else seeing it since everyone was now involved. It was just like how I saw their dreams. It's interesting getting kind of Keiko's perspective versus Yayoi's. I feel like Yayoi can be serious, absolutely. And I did like a lot of the moments when she was. But at the same time, I feel like Hirasaka is a little bit more of a sympathetic person. I feel like she, I don't know, kind of tends to your emotional needs a little bit better. Maybe because she has a lot of experience doing that with herself. Tears wouldn't stop. I held Hirasaka's hand with my own and cried. I couldn't see Maya again. She was gone. It's only natural I couldn't see her anymore, but that was for the best. I knew that, but I still missed her so much. I cried and cried, and Hirasaka just waited quietly. And I love that, because she said something. She said, like, you know, a few comforting words, and then she just kind of let us cry it out. Sometimes it's like when you're really upset and you just have a lot going on, you don't necessarily want someone to, like, talk you through the whole thing. You want someone that will say a few nice words and just be there to comfort you, and just not allow you to suffer alone. When my tears finally stopped, I noticed something odd. Hirasaka wasn't the only person in the room with me. Good morning, Saki-san. Looked like Club President Hirasaka had been sleeping on the sofa, and Saki had been sleeping next to me on the bed. Naturally, the other two had woken up when I started crying, so they probably saw me clinging to Hirasaka. Saki puffed out her cheeks as if she minded very much. She was like a bomb that might go off at any moment. That made me nervous.
年下の女の子にすがって泣きじゃくるトールは不覚にもキュンときたわ。ね、さきちゃんもそうでしょ？なんでそういう言い方をするんですか？確かに兄さんの泣き顔が可愛いとは思いましたけど。
Even though I already felt awkward and wanted to run away, them saying that made me want to disappear even more. I had roughly heard everything that had happened up until now. It looked like after I went to wake up Hirasaka, I hadn't woken up myself. Saki and the others came to check on me, and before they knew it, everyone had fallen asleep. There was something contrived about the situation, but I didn't have the luxury of thinking about it right now. You saw me looking pretty pathetic, Hirasaka. If possible, I'd like you to forget. Wow, everyone's being so mean. They're just saying him crying is cute. Like, I think there's nothing wrong with a guy crying. I feel like we have this tendency not to do it, but there's literally nothing wrong with it. I don't know. As a guy, I don't want to be called cute. Okay, I don't want something I did to be cute. God, will you dig me a hole so I can go crawl inside and not come out for a while? My man suddenly became religious. Ooh, you want to put my glasses on for me? I feel like that's the most polite way she could have said that. I feel like the translation would be like, bitch, back off. No sooner had Saki said this than she came up to me, picked up my glasses at my bedside, and put them on my face. The cold touch of the frames was a stark contrast to the soft warmth of Saki's fingers. After feeling that, I finally felt like I had truly woken up. Is this... okay, this is... still doing new dialogue. I would imagine the whole scene's gonna be new. I mean, I'm glad to get more Hirasaka, but I also want to get into her route, so I'm being impatient. Sorry. Asano-san's job, so no one else can do it.
トールが夢と現実の意識を分けるプロセスでしょ？
I didn't recall ever having explained that yet. Clubpress smoothly rattled that off. Hirasaka tilted her head, seemingly not
トー
understanding.
ルってもともと夢のことをしっかり覚えてる体質なのよ。だけどそれって夢と現実がほぼイコールになっちゃうわよね。だからどっちが夢でどっちが現実かを切り替えるスイッチが必要なのよ。他にもあるかもしれないけど、そのサキちゃんにメガネをかけてもらうのもスイッチの一個でしょ？
Yeah, pretty much, although I don't really want other people to know. I had started doing it when my counselor told me to be aware of sensations that only I had. I think there's actually some legitimate stuff to this. I actually think this is part of like certain trainings, like certain therapies. I think they do like try to get you to focus on something because it kind of like grounds you, makes you aware of your surroundings, and gets you off of like thinking too much in your head. So I actually think that's like a legitimate thing that they would probably have you do. Like if putting on your glasses kind of like helps you like get into a certain mood or get out of a certain mood, then I would imagine that's absolutely something they tell him to do.
そっか。ごめんごめん。
It's an interesting application though, applying it to being outside of dreams. I mean, I know he's had problems with that in the past where he thought he was kind of wrapped up in dreams and thought they were reality. So I think it's very fitting for a character like Tohru. Even if someone had told me to do it, only Saki could, and Saki had from the beginning. Though anything hard to duplicate could work for the Switch.
やっぱりそういうことがあるんですね。
Yeah, there are times when reality gets dragged down by a bad realistic dream.
だけど夢は夢じゃないんですか？
You know, I'm a believer that dreams can influence your mood, because I feel like whenever I have a bad dream, my day kind of goes not so great. And I would say my wife probably agrees, because she has more frequent bad dreams than I do. But they are just dreams, but I do think they have an influence on us subconsciously, if that makes sense.
されど夢よ。思い込みで体調だって悪くなるんだし、切り替えないと危険よ。
Yeah, I've definitely had that happen, where I feel like I've done something and I feel like I'm gonna get sick and then I get sick. Sucks. The Press's interpretation was simple, but it was true. When I had bad dreams, sometimes my physical condition would deteriorate. Hirasaka reached out to touch my cheek. Something akin to ticklishness ran up my back at the sensation of her fingers. They were colder than I expected.
じゃあ、私がさっき叩いたところが痛かったりするんですか？
There are times when stuff like that happens, that's why a switch is important. Whoa, Ayo. While I was still talking, she suddenly kissed me. Saki was watching Pros completely. Hirasaka?
うん。その、お詫びです。さっき思いっきり殴りましたから。
Well, you know, feel free to apologize more often. Hirasaka moved away from me and averted her eyes immediately. What should I do about the feeling welling up from my chest? If I obeyed it, then something terrible might happen.
兄さん、
Oh no. She's pissed. Oh no. Oh no. Lucky had preparing a change of clothes for me, but now she was emitting an aura that was hard to describe. I think it's very easy to describe, actually. It's scary. It's kawaii. That was...
なるほど。つまり修羅場ね。
You know, love is war, right? Don't fan the flames. The Hirasaka in question looked away from us, trying not to get involved. Before I could even think of what I had done,
この節操なし。
it just reminds me of going into work this morning and I had the radio on and it's like, it was some song about girls being players too. Girls are players too. This is what made me think of. Those words stung more than anything, but I noticed that I felt a little bit better. I love seeing Yayui's face as she's just smiling deviously at us. As the conversation continued, I suddenly got an email on my phone. Since it would also help me escape from the reality in front of me, I picked up the phone from my nightstand. It was from an unregistered sender.
トール、誰から来たの？
Is this still new? No, I can skip. Okay, we skip. With bells still jingling, Santa sleigh pulled up in front of the school gate. Oh gosh. Did we skip that whole thing? Please tell me we did. It was still early, so no one else was around. Oh, and everyone's in different clothes. Okay. That's the only thing I hate about skipping is because I've already seen some of the dialogue, so it just skips over it, and I'm just kind of left to figure out where exactly we are right now. It looks like we didn't attract anyone attention.
というか、やっぱりもう夜が明けてるのね。
The Prez pulled out a pocket watch which matched her attire, of course, from somewhere inside her clothes and checked the time. Hey, that watch, what time zone does it show? I do wonder if all of the other Purple software games have something to do with time, because I feel like Chrono Clock and then now this game, they all have watches. Very distinct. They like, I guess they just like to draw watches. So, what time zone does it show?
きちんと日本時間よ。ああ、水郷ビルから飛んでからもう半日以上過ぎてるのね。
Okay, so we escaped the Tsukio building. So that's kind of where we're at.
もうというか、やっとというか。だけど半日で、何カ国回ったんですか?
So interesting. So we went ahead and like delivered presents and things like that. I'm trying to remember what exactly happened after that. Didn't we end up in like some other place, like a snowy place? Stop, Saki. No talking about how fast we were going. Look, Hirasaka is the ground. It's Japan. Are you all right?
すみません。
Hirasaka had been lying limp inside the sleigh. I had to all but carry her off. She was so worn out that a newborn fawn would probably be stronger than her right now. Even though she usually held back and acted tough, right now she was completely relying on me.
なんだろう、乗り物酔い?
That might be part of it, but didn't you notice Hirasaka's afraid of heights?
ああ、そうだったんだ。ごめん。いえ、アリスさんが謝ることでもないですから。
Oh wait, I gotta go this way. You can lay with your waifu, guys. The more presents we distributed, the paler Hirasaka's face became, to the point she eventually stopped moving. So we decided it would probably be best if we let her down when we passed Japan again.
だけど、トール一人で大丈夫?
We already decided, didn't we? Club Prez and Alice were the ones who could really drive the sleigh, so they were going to alternate turns. Saki was to assist them when it came to presents. Hirasaka was a girl, so it'd be better if Saki stayed, but if both of us got off, they might not be able to get the presents to all the children. Plus, if the Christmas dream was still going on, it would be easier for me if there were fewer of us. So it was decided that I would be disembarking with Hirasaka.
稽古が抵抗できないからって変なことしちゃダメよ。
I don't want to hear that from you, okay? You freaking were trying to get it on with me any time we had an opportunity. Hey, I don't like taking advantage of others' weaknesses.
ええ、知ってるわ。だから任せられるんだもの。
Okay, so I feel like this is a little bit different. So we stopped midway from like delivering presents, and it sounds like we're kind of gonna spend some time with Hirasaka because she doesn't do too well with heights. Why did Alice and Club Press look away from me as Saki said that? I'll put Hirasaka to bed then. You're right. You'll be able to rest soon.
なんとか。地面って。
The ground is wonderful.
ですね。
Hirasaka was standing on her own 2 feet, but also leaning heavily against me. We'll take a taxi or something to my apartment.
そうした方が良さそうね。それじゃ、私たちはもう一回りしてくるわ。また夜の世界に戻るんだ。まあ、そろそろイブの夜は世界中でも終わってるけど。
That's right. Santa's sleigh was flying to the countries where it was still night of Christmas Eve.
平坂さん、兄さん相手なら何言ってもいいですから、遠慮とかしちゃダメですよ。
With a jingle of bells, the sleigh took to the sky again. Saki's voice got farther and farther away until it disappeared. We watched them go. Well, let's go then.
はい。
I put a hand around Hirasaka's waist so she wouldn't collapse and started walking. Hirasaka was thinner than I imagined. As soon as we got back to my apartment, Hirasaka collapsed on the bed and fell asleep. She wasn't even able to change her clothes. She must have been really tired. Hirasaka's dress and socks lay scattered around her as she slept soundly. Well, I mean, she was kind of the center of attention during that whole thing with her dad, And, you know, she ended up going on a sleigh and she doesn't like heights. I mean, there's a lot going on for her, and it seems to be like it's the next day, so I would imagine she's pretty wiped. It was bad for my heart to think about how Hirasaka looked under the futon right now. Yeah, why you got... my guy, you're reinforcing the fact that you are a pervert, okay? I'm always constantly defending this guy, and then he says things like that, like, oh, I gotta control myself, you know, if I think about her under the covers. I'm like, my guy, why do you gotta say that? Why do you have to think about that, huh? Like, you just had this huge event, and you're thinking about... oh, I wonder how something comes pissing me off. As for me, after I put Hirasaka to bed, I lay on the sofa waiting to see if anything would happen. But because of the ruckus last night and our all-nighter distributing presents, it looked like I was going to doze off for a bit, off after a bit too. I quickly sat up and looked at Hirasaka. She was still sleeping soundly. Outside, the sun was high in the sky. She was no longer as pale and her breathing was normal. I was relieved to see that she didn't seem to be in any discomfort. I guess she trusts me. I don't know, I feel like she trusted Tohru, like, pretty much since the beginning, because, like, she just kind of came back to his apartment and was willing to do whatever with him. No, I think, like, she's trusted him for a long time, and obviously that's probably grown, but still. Her shoulders stuck out from the edges of the futon. They weren't completely bare, I could see the straps of her bra. Maybe it wasn't a big deal to Hirasaka, or maybe she just hadn't been in the state to care. I picked up her expensive-looking clothes, which she had stripped off fairly violently, and placed them back on the back of my chair. I was relieved that there was no underwear among them, but that meant that all Hirasaka was wearing right now. That was all Hirasaka was wearing right now. Saki and the others were worried, but should this really have been done in my apartment? I would have preferred to leave her in the care of Saki's family, but there was a possibility they were still chasing us from when we ran yesterday. My room was obviously risky, but I had a plan if it came to that. Although, I was still relieved that didn't happen.
Senpai.
Ah, sorry, woke you up. Hirasaka tried to sit up, but I pushed her back down. Whoa, you pushed her back down? Oh, if you're getting up, can you put some clothes on first?
別に気にしなくても。
Oh? You'll catch a cold. I think she's trying to catch something. It ain't a cold, though. Hirasaka looked a little annoyed.
それならいつものシャツを貸してもらえますか?
I hate that she says the usual. You haven't worn it enough to call it the usual. Although she wasn't as pale, she was still a little white. I mean, yeah. It would likely be difficult for her to change as she was now. I rummaged through her laundry and pulled out a dress shirt. I gave it to Hirasaka.
ありがとうございます。
She immediately started to get out of bed to put it on, so I quickly turned around. I could hear the rustling of her clothes from behind me as I grew increasingly unsettled.
もういいですよ。
Tohru is so down bad. I mean, to be fair, he's around a bunch of, you know, beautiful women all the time. That would drive a man nuts. I turned around and looked. There was honestly nothing okay about her being in only a dress shirt and in her underwear. But it looked like Hirasaka had gotten used to that, so I didn't want to say anything that would bother her unnecessarily. You still look pale.
もともとですから。
Fair enough. I mean, more than usual. I poked Hirasaka's cheek. Although her face was a little redder than it had been this morning, her complexion still wasn't good. I pushed against her cheek. Hirasaka looked at me with an expression that said she wanted to complain about something. What's up? Want something to eat?
いえ、まだ食欲はないので、もう少し休みたいです。
I see. Sorry for waking you.
いえ、私こそすいません。先輩も眠いのにベッドを使わせてもらって。
I like how we've grown, like, so close to Hirasaka, and yet she's still, like, incredibly polite when it comes to things like this. I think she's really, like... I mean, obviously, she's falling in love with Tohru as well, but I feel like she, like, deeply respects Tohru, which is something I really enjoy, considering all the other girls just kind of make fun of him a lot. Like I said, he definitely has moments where he deserves to be made fun of, but I also like those moments when they, like, genuinely respect him as a friend and see the kind of nice things he does for them. Don't worry about that, I'm used to sleeping on the sofa. I almost always slept on the sofa when Saki stayed over. And as I was thinking that, Hirasaka stared at me from the bed. What is it?
言っていいんですか?
Depends. What are you trying to say? Sure, go ahead. Hirasaka continued.
添い寝って、どんな感じなんでしょうか? と思って。
I don't know, we can find out. What's it like?
いえ、先輩は蓮野さん相手に慣れてそうですし、私はそういうの親相手にも記憶にないものですから。
Really? You never shared a bed with anybody? I don't know when it happened, but Hirasaka's mother no longer lived with her. I thought that was what she meant, but... Why are you looking at me and saying that?
なんとなくです。あとは蓮野さんが楽しそうに言っていたので。
My guy, are you this dumb that you don't understand what she's trying to say right now? Saki. What was she doing telling that to other people? Well, Hirasaka had become close enough with us, so maybe that was it, but still. Get some sleep for now. I'm kind of hungry, so I'll go buy something in the meantime.
試させてはくれないんですね。
Yeah, my guy, she is not able to make this any more clear. Like, you're being so dense right now. I look like the sort of person who would say, alright, let's sleep in the same bed here.
そうですね。泣き落とせばしぶしぶしてくれる人だと思ってます。
Yeah, I mean, Tohru is definitely not the kind of person who would just jump in and do that immediately. Like, he would have to be, like, kind of coaxed into it. Because, like, I think part of him's, like, thinking about the conversation we just had where he's, like, told not to take advantage of her while she can't move. He's probably right. No, I wouldn't.
これは育児なしって言うんでしょうか。ん？解消なし？
I feel like we've been called a good for nothing quite a lot. Hey. Even though Hirasaka was sick or something like that, I raised my voice.
どうしてダメなんですか？私相手にいやらしいことを考えてしまうからですか？あ、世間体とかそんな話は置いといて。どうせ私たちが誰かに言わなきゃバレないことですし。
This is like what every man wants to hear. And Toru's like, you know, nah, don't want to do that. Yeah. Hey, Hirasaka.
私に魅力がないわけじゃない。そう言ってくれたのは先輩ですよね。
He did say that. Perhaps because she was tired, Hirasaka was getting more persistent than usual, but she wasn't letting me go away easily. Well, as the rumor goes, I like big boobs, and you're not my type. What would you do if I said that? You better not say that! That was an obvious lie, one that lacked delicacy to boot. But I said it amidst my confusion. Yeah, you shouldn't have said that. That was so stupid.
なるほど。先輩にとって私は女の魅力がないと。
Can you imagine being someone who enjoys boobs and not enjoying all sizes? Crazy.
だったらあんな風に。何度も助けに来てくれたのはなんでですか？
I didn't
誰
think
が相手でも
I
同じ
didn't
でした
think
か？
this conversation could go so badly, but it is. Tohru not only is not reading hints and not going along with them, but he's making it worse. How do you do that? He was neither sulking nor angry. Hirasaka was hardly even looking at me anymore. Like, this isn't even, like, ambiguous. Like, this is pretty clear that she wants to sleep in the same bed with you and possibly do other things. And I don't understand what his problem is. Maybe Hirasaka's mind wasn't working as well as she thought it was. But no, then again, Toru's always resistant. Like, he's always afraid to do something at the start. And I think once he gets into it and realizes it's okay, I mean, he just puts a lot of caution on doing things like that because he knows that there's big consequences if he gets involved with one of the girls. I understand if at the same time she's like being pretty obvious. Maybe Hirasaka's mind wasn't working as well as she thought it was. Oh my god. You're tired now, aren't you? Instead of saying something like that, go to sleep.
添い寝はダメなんですか？
I wouldn't consider this taking advantage of her. She seems like she's perfectly aware of what she's saying. Like, yeah, she is tired, but she thinks it'd be nicer if she had somebody to play with her, you know? That would make me restless. I moved away from the side of the bed.
そうですか。確かに横に落ち着かない人がいたらゆっくり眠れなさそうですしね。
Yeah, but you do it for her, okay? You do it for her. You lay next to her, you comfort her, you make sure that she can sleep. I don't know, read a book or something, play on your phone, do something while she's sleeping. Oh my gosh. It was like I retreated back in the futon. She didn't look convinced. She didn't continue saying weird things either.
おやすみなさい。
This is pissing me off right now. I'm dying inside, guys. Thought it would be best if I didn't interfere with her sleep. Yeah, I'm sure. So I grabbed my phone and walked before heading outside. I understand in some ways he's doing the right thing, but at the same time, like, just pissing me off. Felt bad, but I had a beef bowl by myself for brunch and walked around to see what was going on inside. You're pissing me off. I didn't know what to expect considering yesterday's events. You didn't even buy her a beef bowl. You. This is why you don't get any women. This is why they all hate you and make fun of you, because you do stupid stuff like this. To expect considering yesterday's events. Okay, I need to drop this. It's just we just gotta relax, guys. We just gotta relax. A normal Christmas, I guess. It's as though all the stuff about a princess and kidnapping had never even happened. I think we went through this already. Nope. Says we didn't. The town was bustling with people celebrating Christmas, getting ready for the end of the year. I guess that's all that's left is Hirasaka's house. Also curious about what happened to Asi and Tetsuya, but that probably ended without much fanfare. I thought about going to check on Hirasaka's house, but come to think of it, I didn't know precisely where it was. I was wondering what I should do when my phone suddenly rang. Mosh mosh.
兄さんよかった。起きてたのね。平坂さんは大丈夫？
She's fine. She's sleeping in the apartment.
部屋で？もしかして今兄さん外にいるの？
She must have heard the sounds around me through the phone. She sounded a little offended. Yeah, there was nothing to eat. Plus, I'd just be a bother if I stayed by her side while she's sleeping, right? Just like pause.
まあいいです。変なことはしてないと思うし。
Yeah, you don't need to suspect him. There was literally nothing going on. Was she still doubting me? Maybe, or maybe she didn't doubt me from the beginning. She didn't doubt me from the beginning, and this was just some kind of rite of passage or obligatory gesture.
それで寝てるって言ってたけど。
She's tired. Yesterday was a huge mess, and Hirasaka's afraid of heights. I wasn't particularly afraid of heights, but Santa's sleigh had still been pretty scary until I got used to it. Who knew how much anxiety it had caused Hirasaka to travel around in the sleigh for half a day?
なんだかしっかりしてるように見えたから大丈夫なのかなって思ったのは失敗だったわ。
She does tend to act tough. True. No one had noticed until Hirasaka had gotten tired of the Pacific Ocean and almost fell into the sea. Anyways, after she got some sleep, she wasn't as pale. Looks like she'll be alright.
よかった。
What about you guys?
あの後、まあそのいろいろあってみんな疲れてて。
I was too afraid to ask what those various things might be. My instincts were warning me that it'd be better not to
と
know.
りあえず今までみんなうちで寝てたの。
So everything was okay there.
ええ、帰ってきてみたらいつも通りになってたから。今アリスさんと弥生先輩がお風呂に行ってるの。
Tohru, don't. Okay, good. He didn't think any lewd thoughts.
先に兄さんたちがどうなってるか心配で電話したのよ。まあ大丈夫そうで安心したけど。
Then we just have to find out about Hirasaka's
ええ、
house.
そうね。落ち着いたらアリスさんと弥生先輩が様子見てくるって言ってるけど。
I would like to see her house. The personality saw if it was those two, then there wasn't anything in particular to worry about. That club president's lack of physical strength aside, they were probably the ideal pair for the job. Please do, but if she can't go back or it looks like it'll be
う
difficult.
ちに来てもらって。もうアリスさんも泊まってくことになってるし。
She doesn't have anywhere to go home to, after all. Probably couldn't remember where home was, so it seemed reasonable that she'd be staying in Saki's house. Alright, I'll tell Hirasaka.
お願い。それと
What?
なんでもないわ。とりあえず平坂さんをあんまり一人にしちゃダメよ。
I won't. I thought it'd make Hirasaka uncomfortable if I stayed next to her, but Saki usually knew best at times like these. I ended my call with Saki. Guess I should head back. It looked like Club President Alice would be the ones to check out Hirasaka's house. So I decided to return to my apartment to check on the princess. When I got back to my apartment, I could hear movement inside. I figured that if she was up, then it would be okay, so I unlocked the door and went inside.
おかえりなさい。
Hirasaka was wandering around the room in a single dress shirt. Her hair was wet and she was rubbing it with a bath towel. I'm home? As I placed the food I brought on the table, I slowly averted my eyes from Hirasaka. Okay, good. He did actually bring her back a beef bowl. Her open collar and her completely exposed legs made it hard for me to know what to
すい
do.
ません。シャワーとタオルを勝手に借りました。
Oh no, I don't
あと
mind.
冷蔵庫の中のコーラもいただきました。後で買って返します。
Oh my gosh, you don't have to pay back a cola. Who cares? I had just bought some anyways. Do you feel okay since you took a shower without eating anything?
正直に言うと、まだ少しフラフラします。
Well, it was partly my fault for not being here. There's no time to be embarrassed, so I went to Hirasaka's side and put a hand on her
で
forehead.
も、先輩。
Dang, he's just going for it. Is it because you just took a shower you feel hot? I felt for the signs of sickness in Hirasaka that I looked for in Maya when she developed a fever long ago.
先輩にこんな格好を見られてるから恥ずかしいんですよ。
Oh, okay.
だから
Flirting a little bit? Hey, you can't fool me that easily. I could at least recognize such obvious attempts to fool me. And yet you wobbled off to take a shower. I mean, I understand the feeling, but still.
すいません。
I started to prepare a hairdryer, thinking it would be best to dry your hair first. I'm glad you didn't faint in the bathroom. I wasn't here, so I wouldn't have been able to help
い
you.
たら様子を見に来てくれましたか。
Yes, although I wouldn't have liked it.
なるほど。
Are you thinking of something unnecessary? That's the kind of feeling I was getting from Hirasaka.
いえ、見せて誇れるような体でもありませんし。
I know, and Tohru's not doing a good job of reinforcing that she's okay. She said as she accepted the dryer from me. As she was drying her hair, she spoke up again.
うちはどうなってると思いますか。
She said it suddenly and so quietly that I almost missed her the sound of the dryer. You mean at your house? Hirasaka switched the dryer
え
off.
え、あんな夢の後にどんなことになってるのかと。
At least around town there were no signs of yesterday's commotion. I didn't hear anything about a kidnapping or a princess or anything like that. Hirasaka seemed a little relieved, but that wasn't the only problem. The President Alice said that they're going to check up on her house
あ
later.
の二人ですか。変なことをしなければいいんですけど。
It'd be one thing if it's just one of them, but I think they'll be fine together. In a sense, I thought Club President and Alice balanced each other out. They both preferred doing their own thing, but each one of them was harsh towards other people doing their own thing in a bothersome way.
そうですね。
What's wrong? I asked her despite having an idea of what her answer might
う
be.
ちの父親のことです。
The last time they had met had been last night. She hadn't seen him since he tried to capture us on the roof of the Tsukio
あ
building.
の人は一体どこまで夢に飲まれてて、どこまでいつも通りだったんでしょうか。
Well, he normally doesn't pull out a gun,
本
right?
当にここが日本で良かったと思います。
Can't tell how much she said was serious and how much was a joke. I think the joke is supposed to be that they don't have very many firearms in Japan, so... Well, if you don't know, there's no way he would.
そうですよね。
Hirasaka looked down. I picked up a bath towel and put it on her head and rubbed roughly.
先輩。
If you don't know, then don't... Why don't you ask?
でも
How much will you know if you don't talk? If you just watch someone silently and think you understand, nothing good will come of it. I would know. Honestly, with Saki and Maya and Club Prez, there was usually some kind of pitfall waiting for you if you thought you understood someone without talking to them. Hirasaka grabbed my hand and stopped me.
なんで目を見て言ってくれないんですか。
Because I'm embarrassed.
もう少し気の利いた返事を期待してました。
Hirasaka removed the bath towel. After a moment of hesitation, she pressed her forehead against my chest.
そういえば昨日も話せとか言ってましたね。
Yeah. I hardly knew anything about Hirasaka's relationship with her father. There was no denying the fact that their lack of understanding of each other despite being father and daughter was the root cause. I wonder who should capitulate in this situation. With her forehead still against me, I hugged her. Should the adult give in or should the child? They both seemed too selfish for things to go smoothly in that regard.
私しばらくあの人の顔も見たくありません。
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be hard to face him after all that. Even if he didn't remember, I could understand her not wanting to see him after what he did to her. So I wasn't going to force her to talk
と
to
いう
him.
ことで先輩の部屋に泊まっていいですか。
No. Hirasaka looked at my face, surprised at my quick refusal. If you don't want to go home, then Saki said you could stay at her house. I didn't want to think of how things would end up if I tried to have Hirasaka stay another night.
さすがハスのさ。なんという余念のなさ。
You probably guessed what you would say too. Then I laughed. I was pretty sure Saki was more worried about Hirasaka than she was about another girl staying in my apartment.
わかりました。その行為に甘えます。
Interesting. It almost seems like Saki is a little bit more accepting of Hirasaka than Yayoi. You should do that, and Alice will be there too. Depending on the circumstances, Club Prez might be there too, but it was probably best not to tell Hirasaka that.
だけど、まだちょっとゆっくりしていていいですか?
Not like I intended to kick you out. Why don't you eat and then rest a little bit before you go out? Hirasaka nodded and moved away. I couldn't help but feel a little reluctant to let her go. What's wrong?
本当に私がこんな格好でも何もしないんだなぁと。
I'm not depraved enough to make a move on a sick person.
病人じゃなくても手を出さないくせに。ですけど。
Yeah. Hirasaka sat in the spot where Saki usually sat. The only chair in my apartment was that sofa, so the spot next to her was my place. Well, it looked like better than her sitting in front of me, so I sat next to her.
なるほど。これは確かに膝枕をしたくなる位置です。
Eat something first. You're still pale.
その後ならいいですか?
Hurry and go to Saki's house and relax there. I didn't know whether that made Hirasaka mad, but she didn't have much to say in response.
はーい。
She replied, clearly dissatisfied. I like how he just turns down all of her advances. Chapter 7, Last Resort. I think Chapter 8 is when we actually get into her route, so a little bit more ways to go. Can I skip from here? Let's skip from here. Oh, okay. I like how it's just our room, but hold on, what? I'm trying to remember what happened here. I think they were like playing around and doing some weird stuff. Oh, is she gonna end up in our bed? Can't remember what happened after that night at all. Oh, this was New Year's. Okay. We're on New Year's right now. I seriously couldn't remember, but at least I was in bed with my clothes on, the same clothes I've been wearing. This is when they got super drunk. Oh, I'm gonna have to censor this. Just trying to see what I'm gonna censor this part, and I'm gonna censor that part. Yeah. A little relieved, I tried to sit up, but as the blankets fell off, I saw Hirasaka sleep next to me. I'm gonna turn on the dynamic text box. Is that okay, guys? But as the blankets fell off, I saw Hirasaka sleeping next to me. She was wearing the same dress and shirt she wore the last time she stayed over. Hirasaka squirmed, apparently cold, but you could see the curves of her breast through her unbuttoned shirt. Her legs were completely bare, too. Rather than wearing the dress shirt, it was more like it was hanging off of her, making her look even more erotic. No, I mean... I placed the blanket over Hirasaka and tried to recall what happened. Maybe because I was still drunk, I felt dizzy. I looked around and saw the room was a minor disaster. Moonlight streamed in from the open curtains. It was just like that night in the forest. But that dream was over. I collected my senses before my mind wandered to darker thoughts and looked around the room again. I didn't know who took them out, but blankets and other bedding items were strewn all over the place. The heater was also on, so it wasn't cold. I was relieved, but I was also curious as to why Clipper's legs were sticking out from the other side of the sofa. Why was she missing one sock? By the kotatsu, Saki was sleeping with her back against the sofa. It was good that she wasn't looking this way, but I couldn't tell whether she was really asleep or not. Then there was Hirasaka, sleeping next to me in nothing but a dress shirt. I swallowed hard at the sight of her. Every time she squirmed her... Yep, they would peek out. Let's just say my self-control was wavering. Should I touch her? Reach out? No, I couldn't do that while she was sleeping. I think it's funny that they say her breasts are kind of small. I don't feel like they are. I mean, you guys aren't going to be able to see, but they're not that small. Oh, thank goodness. I was startled for a moment. I thought she had noticed I'd been thinking about doing something indecent. Oh, you were thinking about doing something indecent. What? She's literally been offering, and now you're with everybody else in the room? What, are you trying to cuck everybody? I don't understand. I really, really don't understand. Thanks to that, my desires vanished. I pulled the blanket over Hirasaka and tried to move away. But where was I supposed to sleep now? Hirasaka said from behind me. When I looked back, she was lightly patting the empty space in the bed with her hand.
ここで寝ればいいじゃないですか。
Hey, do you understand how you look right now? And then I'm a guy. I have to sigh so much. Hirasaka looked at it herself. I wonder, though, if maybe this is just a Keiko thing. I feel like he was a lot more confident around Yayoi, which was surprising to me. I understand he knows Yayoi a little bit better, you know, and I really enjoyed getting to know her backstory and kind of how they met. That made me appreciate the relationship a lot more. It's kind of interesting that they only told us that, like, towards the end of her route, too, which I thought was interesting. We just kind of knew a basics of kind of how they met and things like that, and then we really went and looked back. I kind of like how they did that. It was different, okay? Hirasaka looked at herself.
二人きりでも何もされませんでしたし、今は他の人もいるから大丈夫ですよね。
That's what you would freaking think. Hirasaka indicated with her hand once more. Her thighs were so, but come to think of it, Hirasaka was pretty thin, wasn't she? No, wait. I'll say she's literally covered up. What do you mean her thighs? What are you seeing under the blankets? Is it really okay to give into this temptation?
いい子です。
Oh no. Oh no, you're that type of person. Oh no. She's a dom. Yep. Oh, poor Tohru. This is actually really good for you, because I feel like Tohru is a much more submissive person, so this is great for you, my guy. Next thing I knew, I was back in bed and lying facing Hirasaka. Hirasaka chuckled, completely unconcerned. Yes, just laugh at my lack of willpower.
いや、今のは自虐だったんですけど。
Why? I'm here in bed right now because I lost your thighs and chest. Ah, you're so... I don't understand.
先輩、やっぱりフェチとかそういった類の人ですか?
What does that even mean, though? Does that just mean you have a lot of them? I think everybody has fetishes. I mean, I think if you watched my videos long enough, you'll understand what mine are. Like, I'm not gonna ever say them out loud, but I think if people really watch my videos, you'll probably know mine. You can probably tell what I like, but I don't know, maybe it's not obvious, and if it's not obvious, good. That's great. But I think everybody has some. I mean, everybody has, like, things they like. Like, you could fetishize anything, honestly.
ここにいたのが私以外だったら、胸もあって楽しかっただろうに。残念でしたね。と思ってたんですけど。
Like I said, hers are perfectly normal. Actually, if anything, hers are probably the normal size. So that's perfectly okay. She always makes it sound like she has, like, these really, like, itty-bitty titties, but she really doesn't. But Hirasaka gave me a dubious look, how close we were aside. I get the feeling we had a conversation like this before.
口では何とでも言えますね。
Hirasaka ran her hand along my body. Hey, Hirasaka.
騒ぐと誰か起きるかもしれませんよ。
Damn, okay. I always forget that Keiko is like... Keiko's the definition, to me, of the saying, a lady in the streets and a freak in the sheets. That's Keiko. I immediately stopped moving. If Saki woke up and saw the situation, she'd definitely kill me. You know, she said that Hirasaka wrapped her arms around me and pressed up against me. It was true that her chest was modest and her body was thin, but because of that, I could really feel her touch, making it even harder to settle down.
やっぱり変態ですね。私、全然柔らかくないでしょうに。なんでですか?
Why are you gaslighting him? He's the one who's been, like, holding back. I feel like perverts would not hold back. You're a girl, aren't you?
ええ、可愛げのない女ですから。
I think you have a lot of lovable qualities.
なんですかその同情に満ちた目は。
What was so unlovable about a girl who tried to hold me? Who cared if, she was all bone? What? Did you just say that? Who cared if she was all bones? My guy, that's so mean. Wanted to push her down, and no, hold on.
ちょっと、足に硬いのが当たってるんですけど。
Oh, don't worry, it's just his cell phone, I promise. How would it not react from a girl like you clean to me dressed like that? My route... Hold up, I wanted to skip that, but it was so funny. My rowdy little brother was telling me. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. I should get out of it. Oh my gosh.
ふーん。本当に私を女として見てるんですね。
All I can think about is how many girls are going to be under this stupid blanket by the time we end this game. There's never been a time when I didn't.
そうなんですか。てっきり襲っても抱き心地が悪そうだとか思ってると思っていたんですけど。
In fact, because you're... Yeah, stop saying she's thin! I mean, I feel like most Japanese girls are kind of thin, so...
言わないと蓮野さんを起こします。
What kind of threat was that? I had no choice but to obey. You really want me to say it's sexual harassment? I'm serious.
今、先輩にこんな格好でセクハラしてるのは私だから。
Damn.
お互い様です。
She sandwiched my legs between her thighs. I guess there's no way for me to run away at this point. I was already at my limits. You're so thin, I was afraid that if I forced you, you might break.
その程度セクハラじゃないです。もっと他にも思ったことがありますよね。
Okay, just because a girl's skinny doesn't mean you're gonna, like, break her by, you know, getting it on. Or did I have to say it? But due to the alcohol, I honestly spit out the words I normally wouldn't have said. I was just thinking if we really did it, you would probably look really hot and cute squirming beneath me. When I confessed what I thought a short while ago, Hirasaka stopped moving. There, I said it. Now she could tell Saki whatever what she was gonna do.
本当に私相手にエッチなことを考えてたんですね。
Sorry. I put my hand on her head and petted it. I didn't know where I'd end up touching if I touched her anywhere else.
いいです。別に。
She squirmed while still up against me.
悪い気分じゃないですから。
Oh no, this is going in a direction I don't like. I tried to look away, she kissed me. Brushing her hair out of the way, I looked in her eyes, but she turned away in embarrassment.
そのできれば先輩の期待に応えてもいいんですけど、今は他の人も部屋にいますから。
I don't know, Tohru, you're lucky that you have a girl who's willing to fight for you. I feel like if Tohru didn't, or if she didn't make any moves, this relationship would not be happening.
先輩のことは嫌いじゃないですし、いつかのお礼もまだですし、この間も助けてもらいましたし。
I don't know, Keiko, I really like Keiko's character in the sense that, like, she's not really the most exciting character by any means. Like, there's nothing about her that, like, screams, like, exotic and you know, it's really out there, right? But I really like that she's the kind of girl that, I don't know, you would enjoy having deep conversations with. She's the kind of girl that would, like, make you breakfast in the morning just to smile and watch you eat it because you're eating her cooking, you know? She's that kind of girl, and that's really wholesome. I like that. She's just the kind of person that you would want to be grateful to have in your life. You don't have to worry about that. I just meddled because that's what I do.
先輩は猫に餌をやるだけじゃなくて、飼うことも考えた方がいいと思います。
Damn, okay. We all know what that means. Still not brave enough to look at me, but still holding on to me, she got back under the blanket. But hey, Hirasaka. I don't mind being next after... Oh, sorry, I'm reading her line.
次でも。それじゃあ、今日はおやすみなさい。
With that, Hirasaka stopped responding. I couldn't say anything more. I had just felt how light Hirasaka was and her warmth under my chest just under the blanket. Heaving a heavy sigh, I surrendered to my drowsiness. I had a feeling that if I didn't retreat to the world of dreams, I'd probably make a move on her right now. I really like how it was different than Yayui's scene too. Like, that was a much more, like, deeper conversation type thing, and we were talking.
それじゃあ、トールに対する公開裁判を始めたいと思うわ。
Oh, we're still having this Inquisition right now. Interesting, interesting. Okay, I can't skip this. I'm gonna have to unfortunately censor that, but... I really like that whole scene, though. I just want to, before we start moving on, I really want to say that I think that was nice. And I really like about Hirasaka how we have these, like, deep conversations a lot. Like, more than you would expect. Like, it's almost hard for me to cover her route in that sense because she just constantly is having these deep conversations, like these really like big heart to hearts. I'm just not used to that. I'm used to like there being more lighthearted moments, and she definitely has some of those at times, but I feel like Hirasaka is a very like serious character at times, as far as our conversations go. And I guess I'm just not really used to that. It's hard for me to play these games sometimes and then have that happen because I'm so used to just all these situations that are just kind of funny and not super serious, and then you go into these moments of Keiko and it's like these this constant onslaught of like these really like deep and serious moments. I have to like really like transition myself from like joking around and stuff to really like being more mindful of what she's saying and thinking in that sense. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining. It's just I'm not expecting of it. So I do like that about Keiko's route though. So we're gonna go ahead and skip here. Okay, I'm gonna have to censor a lot this episode. So what's the context? Okay. As a result of club president and the others' horseplay, the blood had gone to my head and I was now very dizzy.
仕方ないです。というかあの女の悪ふざけが過ぎただけですから。
So this was after they were kind of
悪くありません。
teasing Tohru in the hot springs. Hirasaka let me use her lap as a pillow as I lay down. Being outside in the winter, I thought it would be cold, but water was constantly overflowing from the bath, so it wasn't that bad. And with her feet still in the water, Hirasaka looked down at me.
何ですか?
I was just thinking I can see your face really well.
ええ。間を遮るものがありませんから。
I didn't mean it like that. She didn't have much of a chest, but I still thought Hirasaka was plenty fat. I don't understand why you're saying that. Her chest is still really big. Like, it's just not inflated anime girl size like the rest of them. Didn't have much of a chest, but still. Okay. But her slightly pouty face was also nice, so I said nothing.
そうですか。てっきり胸がないから見ても面白くないと思ってるのかと。
If I were a guy, you letting me do this would be enough to make me jump for joy. Even now, her thighs were soft and comfortable, and I was satisfied in that sense. It wasn't that I was happy because I was a guy.
どうして喜ぶのか理解できませんが。
You don't have to give me such a dubious look. Hirasaka looked at me like she didn't believe me at all. Then again, for you, it might be better if I didn't return to being a guy.
何バカなことを言ってるんですか。
It's just that in all the time we've known each other, there's never been a time when it was good that I was a man, right?
私はそうは思いませんけど。
Really, like the first time you stayed at my apartment, if I had been a girl, it wouldn't have been such an
あ
issue.
の時困ってたのは先輩一人です。
Ooh, only an issue for you. See, it was an issue for me. Hirasaka stroked my forehead, her hand felt cold.
あの時から私に言ってくれた言葉は嘘だったんですか。
Did I say something?
まったく私をきちんと女として見ているって。
I do. Why would that be a lie?
だったら私が先輩の前で薄着でいたら多少は嬉しいんじゃないんですか。今だって一応は男でいた方が嬉しいって言ってたじゃないですか。
I would be, but that's a different matter. I'd still be happy, though. Hirasaka heaved another scornful sigh.
じゃあ男の人のままでいいんじゃないですか。
It's a matter of how people see us, isn't there?
別にあの人父が気にしているようなことはどうでもいいじゃないですか。
Your father has nothing to do with it, Hirasaka. I'm talking about you.
私のですか。
She gave me an unconvinced, troubled expression. Spending lots of time in a man's apartment, depending on a guy who isn't even your boyfriend and ranting to him, and sometimes spending the night together. Recently, I'd sometimes gone with Hirasaka when she sang at night because I was worried about her. Wouldn't that create a lot of rumors? If I were a woman, there wouldn't be these problems.
それって蓮野さんにも同じことが言えますよね。
Yeah, I mean, my guy, you've literally done the same things with Hasuno. Freaking Saki. Sasaki, huh? If I were a girl, there's a chance I wouldn't have been saved by her anyway, so...
蓮野さんは先輩が男だから助けたなんてことは言わないと思うんですけど。
Yeah, I don't think so. It's the opposite. I'm saying maybe I wouldn't have let myself be saved. Hirasaka tilted her head, but I had no intention of elaborating any further.
先輩が話すつもりがないなら詳しく聞こうとは思いませんけど。
Yeah, I don't plan on talking about it further.
そうですか。
Hirasaka looked a bit sullen. Was she upset that I might remain a girl?
私はやっぱり嫌ですよ。
Hirasaka brushed my hair aside and stroked my forehead. There was a lonely look in Hirasaka's eyes.
先輩は確かに普段頼りないですし、なんかフラフラしてますし、蓮野さんに頼りきりですし、不甲斐ないですけど。
I won't deny it, but did you really have to put it like that?
それでも先輩は私のことを助けてくれましたから、頼りないのが自分でも分かってるくせに。どうして先輩は他の人を助けようとしているんですか？
Shouldn't you help someone if you say that they have a problem? That was a given. At least I thought so.
先輩のそういうところ、私好きなんですよ。
The gentle smile, those soft eyes. It wasn't a look she normally showed me, and it made my heart race. Is that okay, even though you just said I'm normally
も
unreliable?
しかして私、先輩に騙されてるんですかね？
What do you mean?
普段頼りないからこそかっこよく見えてるんでしょうか？
So it's not really expected of him to be that way, so when he does, it looks extra cool. No, I'm not trying to fool you or be cool.
狙ってやってたとしたら最悪です。
I'm telling you, I can't.
ええ、分かってます。
She stopped playing with my hair and ran her hand along my
た
face.
だ、私もどうせ頼るなら、女の先輩よりも男の時の先輩に頼りたいです。好き
Oh,
ですから。
hell yeah. She stared me straight in the eyes. I'd never been told anything like this by anyone besides Saki, so I was a little bit bewildered. There's also the fact that Hirasaka looked the same as usual. Her expression had hardly changed at all.
だから先輩のこと好きです。
Why someone like me?
理由なら今言いましたけど。
Didn't actually understand her reasons even when you said it. I guess she liked my meddling nature.
そうですか？
I think she likes that you're just a naturally caring person. Even though you find it inconvenient at times, you still do it anyways. That's so. I was always being protected by people, and I was always getting involved with things on a whim that were right in front of my face. Why would she love someone like that? But it didn't look like she was joking. We haven't known each other for that long.
人を好きになるのに時間って関係あるんですか？
I guess not. Not good. I had anticipated on having a conversation like this, so I was feeling dizzy, although that was partly because the blood had gone to my head. Hirasaka was still combing her hair with her fingers, her expression unchanged. But if you've been with someone for a long time, then you can understand each other better, right?
普通はそうですけど。だけど先輩は私の夢を見てますよね。
I mean, you guys kind of know my stance on love. I don't think I don't personally believe in love at first sight. I think that's infatuation every time. But I do think like you can fall in love with each other rather quickly. There's nothing to prevent that from happening. I think it's just a matter of having certain experiences. I do think it takes a little bit of time. Like I think they've known each other long enough, and they've gone through a lot together. So I think it's more than enough time to fall in love.
それに私も先輩の夢は見てますから。
Yeah, they've had a lot of intimate experiences. A lot of experiences that they would never normally get in reality. It's true that we had seen each other at our weakest. Obviously, we hadn't lied in those dreams, rather there was no way to lie in them. Isn't it rather defenseless of you to say that in front of a guy while looking like that? Hirasaka and I were both naked. If I returned to being a guy, I would obviously be pretty excited, so what would happen?
それも今更です。そもそも先輩の家に初めて泊まって行った時にそうなるかもって思いましたから大丈夫です。
That's not
大
fine.
丈夫ですよ。先輩相手にそんなに好きじゃない時でもそうなるかもって思ったんですから。
Interesting. So she kind of had an idea that she would grow to like him more as she got to know him.
その時に逃げようと思わなかったんです。だから今は好きになったんだし、あの時よりも平気です。
I really like this because she's saying I wasn't immediately in love with you. I just had a feeling that I was gonna get to know you better and like you more than I already did. Not like, but like it sounds like she felt comfortable around him from the get-go and felt like she was going to be even more comfortable after she got to know him based on like the kind of person he was.
まあ、先輩がその気にならなきゃ意味ないですけど。
Before, when you stayed at my place, it was pretty hard to hold back, you know. Actually, the anxiety of her being there and the thought of behaving that way towards a girl I just met kept me pretty at bay.
今だったら、その気になったんなら、いつでも好きにしてくれていいんですよ。
I also think Keiko's a really nice girl in the sense that she's very open. Like, she doesn't really like hide how she feels. She just kind of says it. I really personally respect that. I like when it's not like so much of a game to understand what they're feeling. They just kind of are open, and you know, if you do the same, it's just a very. I like having that reciprocated. I like just having honesty, and it doesn't feel like you have to guess how the other person's feeling. They just kind of both say how they feel, and that works out really well. Not that I want to go out with a girl because I want to do that, though. Not that I don't. It's not that I want to go out with a girl because I want to do that, though.
でも、したいと思うことだってありますよね。
Well, yes. I was an adolescent guy, so of course I wanted to do that sort of thing, although I was a girl right now.
だったらそれでも、先輩になら、抱かれたいなって思う時が、私もありますから。
Being told this so bluntly caused my face to go red, but when I looked closely, it seemed Hirasaka was also embarrassed because her face was a little red too.
でも一つだけ、お願いがあります。
What would that be?
抱くなら、ちゃんと私を好きだって言ってからお願いします。嘘でもいいんで。
If it's a lie, huh? I wouldn't lie. When I tried to reply, Hirasaka put a finger to my lips. As if that wasn't enough for her, she leaned over a little, wrapped her arms around my neck, and kissed me. Hirasaka's lips were soft. She hesitantly extended, tongue licked my lips a little.
すいません、つい。けど、自分を見てほしいってこういうことですかね。
It was sudden, so I was surprised.
キスくらいしますよ。好きですから。
Hirasaka said confidently. I was completely at a loss.
だから早く男の人に戻ってください。女のままだと、どう返事をされてもすごく困りますから。振られるにしても、女だからとかそんな理由だったら死にたくなります。
That would be pretty awful.
ですから、お願いします。
As though noticing something, Hirasaka took my face in her hands and peered at me.
女のままでいれば、私に返事をしなくて済むとか、今考えませんでした。
No, I really
な
didn't.
ら、いいんですけど。
To my relief, she removed my hands from my face, but she was still looking at me. As I was wondering why that was,
急にキスしたくなる気持ちってわかります？
yes, she kissed me again. I would have rather done this after I returned to being a man, but I accepted her lips. Feeling awkward beside Hirasaka, I ran away. That's right, I ran away. I deserted under enemy fire. No, it was a strategic retreat. Hirasaka had started to look at me wistfully. If I had stayed, I would have ended up going along with her, but I was still a girl, so it wasn't like we could do anything more. I'd almost reached Hirasaka before panicking and running away. Can't do anything anyways. I mean, you could. But, we won't talk about that. Anyways, so interesting. He didn't instantly turn back into a guy after, you know, they had their first kiss and everything. So it seems like he hasn't really, like, committed enough to being able to transform back, which I like. I actually like that they didn't just do it right away. But in the end, how should I answer? I was bewildered at the sudden confession and ran away. I think it just goes to show how much of a contrast there is between his relationship with Yayoi and Hirasaka. I mean, I've been kind of saying that the whole video, I know, but I like that it's more... I don't know. It's not as physical, it's more emotional. I mean, Yayoi definitely had emotional moments too, like don't get me wrong. But also I think Yayoi was more confident in herself, and so I think she used that more often than Keiko does. Keiko's very front forward too, but she also doesn't think as highly of herself, I think. So it's a little bit different. What did I think of Hirasaka? I couldn't put my feelings in order, but even so, I felt that I had to give her a proper answer. I had to tell Hirasaka clearly whether I loved her or not, otherwise it wouldn't be fair to her. It wasn't right to continue a half-assed relationship forever. Huh? Wasn't limited to Hirasaka. I had to clear that up with Saki before long, too. Wait, actually, am I toying with their emotions? I had been putting off the matter until with Saki until she graduated from the Annex Tsukio. But I arbitrarily decided, and now that a new person has appeared, I was forced to rethink things. When I thought about that, I want to put it off. Did he transform back into a guy right now, or did they just not put the female symbol in his name again? I sunk into the bath. My body had already returned to a guy's at this point. Okay, good. I was right. So I couldn't use that as an excuse either. So it did technically happen after the kiss. I just feel like it was more immediate in the other circumstance. Anyway, I had to do something. I was walking by myself in front of the station. After all that, I returned to normal and appeared before everyone as though nothing had happened. Everyone was curious as to how I turned back to normal. Not that turning into a girl in the first place wasn't strange, but there was no way I could give a good explanation. Upon my returning to normal, Klepraz offered a triumphant "see," so maybe she actually knew the solution all along. I think she did. I mean, she knew it in her route, so might as well know it in this one, too. Something that'd be meaningless if she told me, huh? Oh, she said the exact same thing, too. She did say something to that effect, and she had turned out to be right. No matter how much she told me to be aware of myself as a man, if I truly didn't feel it, then there would be no point. On the way back, she said something about how if I thought about it too hard and failed, that I wouldn't have any prospects returning back to normal. Since this was a dream, if I focused on being a man, that I'd probably return to normal naturally. At least that was her prediction. She certainly adjusted this situation rather quickly, and to think she was practically a newbie when it came to dreams, unlike me and Alice. As I walked home thinking over this whole situation, a cold winter breeze kicked up. So cold, I gotta get home. We had prepared some clothes in the event I turned back into a guy, but it wasn't quite enough for this kind of weather. After the sun had set, it got even colder, quickly chilling my body as I just warmed up at the hot springs. I guess we can skip this. That's right, and as proof we weren't stuck in the same state, there was the fact that my relationship with Hirasaka had changed a lot. It's a little strange that the awkward and antisocial Hirasaka had somehow grown attached to me. And to be honest, there were times when I couldn't tell what she was feeling, but she was still important to me. Our relationship was definitely moving along. In that sense, no matter how crazy the world got, what was important didn't change. I honestly felt the same way. I suddenly saw a blue sky, a white room, a tea party room with sweets I saw in the dream. Where was I? Why was the sky blue everywhere? Did I fall from there? Was that why I was flying? In that case, why are you here, Alice? No, they showed that same scene again, and I don't have no context for what's going on. I don't think they ever explained that. I kind of had my theory that something just happened there in like Alice's route or something, and we just got thrown back into it because like we didn't end up going down her route, so we just kind of got thrown back, and we saw a glimpse of what could have happened if we were in like the true route or something. These devious dogs, how could they do this? When I blinked, the scenery was gone. I felt dizzy for a moment. Was that why I saw that room? I couldn't even clearly remember what I had seen. It was like forgetting a dream when you wake up. I have a feeling they're gonna pull some weird shit when we get to the true end. They're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, all these other times you've been in these routes, you've been just in dreams. Like even when you wake up from reality, you're still in the dream." Something about it caught my attention, but I couldn't remember any of the details. What had I seen just now? I'd come close to realizing something. I would love if they pulled some shit where we like go back to the beginning and solve everything before it even happens. I don't know. That'd be cool. There's only blue. No, there was a white room. Achoo. And with that sneeze, everything was gone. Huh? Hold on a minute. Was I thinking of something just important and yet blue? I could no longer remember anything but that color, even though I'd seen it somewhere. It disappeared like a dream. Why didn't I have her drop me off with the car? It pisses me off that they show that and they imply something's going on there that we just don't understand at the moment. We already know that we forget things, even though we're pretty good at remembering dreams. We do forget some things, or we forcibly have them erased. Just stared in that direction that Takara-san had driven off in. She had offered to take me home, but I wanted to be alone for a while, so she dropped me off in front of the station. I didn't think it would be this cold. It felt like it might snow. Maybe I was gonna catch a cold. So cold. Let's go home. Can I skip this? Oh. Just then I got the feeling that someone was trying to get my attention. Alice? Get that feeling, but...
さんじゃなくて申し訳ありませんけど。
Yeah, this has to play into Alice's route once we get to it. Because he keeps thinking at this moment he's going to see Alice, and then he doesn't see Alice. So it's like, it's the wrong timeline. There's not going to be time travel in this, is there? I'd be so excited if there's time travel. I just think it's a dream, so time isn't necessarily relevant in the way we think it is. When I turned in the direction of the voice, Hirasaka was there with an annoyed look on her face. Hirasaka, why are you? Hirasaka was supposed to stay the night at Saki's again, so what was she doing here?
先輩こそ、なんで私から逃げるんですか?
I couldn't say that I wasn't. As I turned back into a guy, I didn't know what to say to Hirasaka, so I had been avoiding her. Say, Hirasaka. I let out a slight sigh and sealed myself, although it was strange that this made me so anxious. Can you give me some time?
何ですか、それ?
As I expected, Hirasaka gave me a sour look. She had become more expressive lately, but was that only towards me? It's just, I still haven't worked things out in my own head. Not that I dislike you, I just don't know what to say. Seems that you're quite important to me. No, it doesn't seem like you are important to me, but because you are, I don't know how to answer you.
困ってるって何ですか?
I want to give you a proper answer, but want a little more time. Feel bad for asking, but I'll definitely give you a real answer. That's surely how I felt. I asked whether, if asked whether I liked her or disliked her, I definitely liked her, but that I felt that my feelings towards her lacked conviction. She said she loved me, so it was okay for me to easily say I loved her too. Are my feelings right now really what Hirasaka considered to be love? I wanted more time so I could give her a proper response.
そういうだけ言っておいて逃げたりしませんよね.
I don't intend to. Hirasaka's expression softened as she let out a sigh.
わかりました。それならすぐに答えてくれとは言わないことにします。
Is that really okay?
はい。さっきの告白も確かに急でしたし、蓮野さん相手みたいにごまかされ続けるんじゃないなら、それでいいです。
Wasn't doing it intentionally, but maybe that was how it felt to
そ
Saki.
の間、先輩に会うなとか言いませんよね。
No, because I'm selfishly making you wait for my answer, but if possible, I'd like you to remain the way you have been.
それは無理です。
Hirasaka took my hand. Wait, what? She was giving me a rare confident smile, albeit a slight one, as she held my hand with both of
だって
hers.
先輩に好きって言わせるためにいろいろすると思います。
Ooh.
今まで通りは無理です。
Her touch warmed my cold
とりあえず
fingers.
先輩の部屋に行きましょう。いつまでもここにいたら体が完全に冷えてしまいます。
Okay. But Hirasaka, you're going to go back to the Hosono state later, right? If Hirasaka stayed by my side all night, I felt like I might give her an answer when I wasn't a bit clear-headed.
そのつもりですけど、みんなには大事な話があるって言ってますから。遅くなっても大丈夫ですよ。
I'm sure everyone already has the wrong idea about that. When I turned back into a guy, I'd been alone with Hirasaka, so they were all probably wondering what had happened. They didn't say anything, but I'm fairly certain they all think I made a move on her. So for Hirasaka to say that she had something important to talk about then, and chase after me, it would probably be okay if she were late. In fact, I doubt anyone would have come to pick her up until she was good and ready.
返事は先輩のしたい時でいいですけど、今日はどうしますか?
What do you mean?
何かしてほしければ料理でも何でもしますよ。たとえ嘘でも好きって言ってくれたら、何をしてくれてもいいですし。
What if I say I want you to go back to Saki's place because I want to think it over
そ
carefully?
れはなしです。
But you said anything. Hirasaka didn't respond. She's certainly gotten more assertive since we first met. I was perplexed, but Hirasaka pulled on my hand.
外、寒いです。早く先輩の部屋に行きましょう。
I was happy to have Hirasaka next to me in this cold, but this is bad.
何がですか?
I thought the answer was pretty obvious, but I was nervous about what would happen later if I said it. I wasn't gonna run away. Chapter 8. Let's go. Never Neverland. It was a little while after the new semester had started. Hirasaka was sitting in front of the station again today. Okay, I think we ended here. We just got into chapter 8 finally. Took a little while longer than I thought it was, but at the same time was also shorter. I was expecting the whole scene at the hot springs to be a little bit longer, but I'm actually kind of glad they kept it short because I think we got a good glimpse of the hot springs after being in Yayui's route, right? I think they did the whole scene, justice. But I like that this was a little bit shorter, a little more to the point. And I think that kind of reflects who Hirasaka is. I think Hirasaka is definitely a character that doesn't tend to drag things out too long. So I'm actually really glad that she didn't, and that things are going, this smoothly, right? It also helps that we got to skip a lot of the stuff, so yeah. Anyways, we'll go ahead and end it here. We're finally in Hirasaka's route, so I'm excited about that, and next episode we're going to really get into that. So hope you're looking forward to it, and I'll see you in the next one.